Welcome to the Mily Makes Knitting Podcast. I hope you're well. It is a sunny Thursday morning here in Cheshire. Spring is definitely making its way. In fact, it's basically here, isn't it? I feel like it's come around so quick that it's just like taken me by surprise. It was like it's gone from freezing cold to kind of all of a sudden all the daffodils and everything just popping up, and we've got a tree in our front garden which is starting to get all of its green shoots on it, which is really nice. I'm just going to check that we're filming good. Yeah, and it's just nice to see some sunshine, to be honest, after what feels like a really cold winter. Yes, so welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the lovely comments on episode 1. It was really encouraging, especially for being new to doing this. It's nice to have such lovely comments, and thank you so much. And if you subscribed, thank you, and if you haven't, then feel free. No pressure, guys. So let's get straight to it, shall we? Let's talk finished objects. I'm wearing my first finished object. This is the Lento by Liner magazine, and I knit it with I did talk about it in the previous episode, but it's knit with a strand of fingering weight. I got it off eBay. It's a pure new wool, and the seller is called Gorgeous Knits. So I had it was a strand of that and a strand of drops brushed alpaca silk, and I have loads left of the alpaca silk, and of the new wool. So I'm sure I can make something nice. I'm thinking maybe I don't know, a scarf. I don't know. I feel like, as a side note, I feel like I've been like very chaotic in my thought process recently. So if that comes across in the video, I do apologise. I'm going to try and be as slow and sort of calm as I can be. But yeah, if it's a little chaotic, then sorry. So yes, this is the Lento. It's an absolutely lovely pattern. It's so simple, so quick. I knit mine on not the suggested needle size. I used, I think it was 5.5, and the suggested is 6mm, because the fabric was just too loose on the 6mm for me. But this needle size seems great. I've tucked it in today. I'll show you. Just got a little tuck. Yeah, and it's just so lovely. I'm really pleased with it, and I love the colour. I'm really hoping that the YouTube or whatever doesn't mess up the colours again, like in my last video, because this seems really hard to like get the exact colour of it, when you record it. But yeah, hopefully it comes across. But I love the fabric. It's really pretty. I love the slight marling. It's very subtle, but yeah, I really like it. So that is my first finished object. Second finished object is my camisole number 4 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. Here she is. Yeah, I finished her. In the last episode, I think I'd only done maybe like this much of the body, and I was like, oh, I'm finding it really boring and like slow going. But you know what, once I got in the rhythm, it was actually really enjoyable. It's I think they call it a broken rib, where you do one knit round and then you do a round of knit 2, purl 2. So I kind of kept, when I'd finished a knit 2, purl 2 round, I was like, oh, I get a knit round. It's kind of addicting in that way. Yeah, and this is knit with Knitting for Olive pure silk, which is gorgeous. I absolutely love it, and I'm definitely going to be buying more and knitting more summer garments in this yarn. It's so lovely. And do you know what? I haven't weighed this, but it used like no yarn at all. I think I used 1.5 balls of yarn, which is mad. I still have exactly the same amount left over because I ordered 3. So I can probably get maybe another top or like a little scarf. I'm thinking like a really cute, you know, those tiny scarves where you like tie them. I think they're cute. Maybe I could make one of those. But yeah, really pleased with this, and it fits really, really nicely. I'll try and insert a photo of me wearing it so you can see how it fits. I'm really hoping this angle's okay. In terms of modifications, I didn't do the provisional cast on. I just cast on 4 stitches and knit rather than holding them, because I think A, I was lazy, and B, I don't think I knew how to do it at the time, so I just did it, but it's fine. I knit the straps a lot shorter than suggested because I knew that this fibre was going to grow with blocking and wear, and I didn't want it to be a very, very deep V. Actually, it's come out perfectly. Like, the V is pretty perfect for where I'd want it to sit. Yeah, and I'm just really pleased with it. I think it's lovely. I'll give a closer up of the fabric. Hopefully that's picking up. It's really lovely. Yeah, really pleased. So that's the second finished object. And actually, do you know what? That's it. I have a half finished object, which I'll show you now. I put it on a blocker. It's a pair of socks, because I love having socks to work on because they're just so easy and portable. And I just love knitting socks. So I've just got some notes here. This pattern is it's called Pinky by, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, by Trudy Hairtas. It's designed to be a shorty sock, like a trainer sock, but I just made it longer because I wanted to kind of get as much use out of the yarn that I can. The yarn I'm using is regular 4-ply. I'll show you. I'm not sure how I feel about the yarn at the moment. It's very rough. It's probably the most rough sock yarn I've felt to date, which I haven't, to be honest, I haven't used loads. Yeah, it's very hard, not soft. I'm thinking it'll probably soften with blocking, but I have a feeling that it's going to be very hard wearing, very long lasting, which is great. And if it is, I think it would be really good to use this yarn for socks that you're going to do a lot of walking in. Me and my partner do quite a lot of walking, and I often wear socks in like boots and things, and I think this yarn will probably be great for that. So that's good to know, I think. What to say about the pattern itself? I don't know if you can see, but it's got a lovely lace pattern going down it, and then it's got just like a little row of like a 1-stitch cable, which I didn't use a cable needle for. I just kind of dropped it and flicked them around, which is like, it scares me every time I do it, but it's fine. Yeah, and it's quite simple, but it's really pretty. I didn't carry it down the back because I just didn't. Yeah, I think if I were to knit this pattern again, I would maybe omit this line and just sort of have it all purl stitches. But yeah, so yeah, and I did make a mistake on the heel flap. One row I messed up. I think what I did was muddled up what I was meant to be slipping and knitting, and so it's actually quite obvious, but it doesn't matter, it's a sock. We're here for the imperfections, right? I think I'm trying to be less of a perfectionist when it comes to knitting because it's a hobby at the end of the day and I want it to be fun. and I don't want to be like, oh, you know, ruin this project because I've made one, you know, I made a mistake. I don't want to be like that. So yes, so that's one sock complete, not blocked, but on a blocker. And I've got this far through the second one. I'm just ready to start the heel flap on this one. Actually, that's better. You probably see the pattern a little bit better. So yeah, that is Pinky Socks by Trude Hairtass. So that's it for finished objects. I actually thought I was going to have a lot more. I don't know why. I don't know how fast I think I can knit. Apparently I think I can knit really fast, and I'm not the fastest knitter at all. But I think that's good, pretty good. Has it been 3-4 weeks? And I finished, I think the main thing I'm pleased with is I finished that camisole, which I thought was gonna not be ready till like this summer. So yeah, now it's ready for me to wear, so that's really good. So let's chat whips, works in progress. Let's start with this one. So let's start at the beginning. So I said to my mum that I was going to knit her an item for her birthday, and I sent her a few things that I think that I thought she would like, and she ended up choosing I've completely forgotten the name of the pattern. It's a petite knit pattern, and it's like got little lace details on it, and it's kind of like 3/4 length sleeves. I'll put the name of it here anyway. But yeah, that's the pattern she chose. And I know that my mum is very, very sensitive. She's got very sensitive skin, and she finds a lot of things itchy. So I was like, okay, well, I can't use wool or mohair. That's straight out. What I could use is a blend, like a cotton merino, or yeah, I was looking for a cotton merino yarn, and I found one, and here it is. It's a brand I've not heard of before. Heitergarn, I want to say. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Here it is. It's a DK 50% superwash wool and 50% cotton blend. And I kind of knew when I received it and opened it up, I was like, this is not the right yarn for that pattern. The colour wasn't quite right. I just knew it wasn't going to be right, which is that's one of the annoying things is if you're like me and you're in an area where you don't have any local yarn shops. We had one in a place called Northwich, but it's sadly closed. And even that one, I think, only carried like, your James C. Brett and King Cole. So I can't go and look at yarns, which is both probably a blessing and a curse. So I have to order online and kind of hope for the best. But this is one of those examples where I knew the yarn wasn't going to be right for that project. So rather than letting it sit and just like, getting forgotten about, I thought, let's try and cast something on with it for me. So I have. This is a self-drafted, highly modified, well, no, it's not self-drafted. It's a very, very highly modified Lento because I knew the pattern was good and I thought it would be quite easy to like modify bits of it. So here it is. This is I'm just going to move back. This is a t-shirt, I'm thinking like a spring summer t-shirt, because I've been seeing so many on Instagram and I'm like, oh, I don't have any knitted t-shirts. That would be cool. I'm really, really liking it. I'm really pleased with it. So what have I done? For the body, I'm using 5mm needles. So it's nice and like loose and drapey. For the ribbings, I've used 4.5mm needles, and I've done 3 knit 3 rounds of 1x1 rib, and then I've knit 1 round and then I've bound off, which is kind of not really done much. I feel like if I'd knit maybe 3 rounds, it would have given me more of a rounded effect, but I actually really like it. I think it's quite pretty. So yeah, that's what I've done for the ribbing. And then I've done an eyelet round, which is all it is knit 2 together, yarn over, every 18 rounds. Except on the sleeves I've only done 2 because it was gonna, I think the eyelet round was gonna be too close to where I was gonna bind off, so I've just left it as 2, which I think is nice. But yeah, I'm really liking it, and I'm glad that I found a use for the yarn. I'm really close to finishing. I've probably only got maybe like another like one of these blocks to do, and then I'm going to bind off. But I think this will be really like cute for the warm weather, just with some black jeans, or I mean I always wear black jeans. But yeah, it's a very beige colour, but I'm a beige girl. I like beige. I tend to wear I always have like a colourful lipstick on, so I feel like that's quite a good combo. So yeah, I don't know what to call it. Probably just highly modified Lento that's not a Lento anymore. Oh, and the other thing I did was I did a two-stitch raglan instead of the one, because I just thought it would look nice, and yeah, I'm pleased with it. I did make a mistake. On my first eyelet round, I accidentally did an eyelet over the raglan. So only on one side. I don't know what happened, but yeah, you can kind of see it's like a little, looks like a hole in the raglan, but it's fine. I'm not too worried. Yeah, really pleased with it. That's definitely going to be finished by next time you see me. In fact, I'll probably have it done within the next couple of days, because there's literally there's hardly anything to do, and it knits up really quickly. I'm really pleased with the fabric. It's got a nice weight to it with the cotton, but it's still nice and light and like drapey and airy. Yeah, so I think I'd recommend the yarn. Obviously I don't know how it wears yet, but it was very cheap. I will put a link or whatever to where I bought it from. I think it was from Linda Hobby. Yes. And the colourway is 282. DK, yeah. It's 50 grams and 120 meters. So yes, that is my first whip. The second one is a completely random, spontaneous one. I need to stop doing this because I just get distracted and I'm like,
oh, that's pretty, I've got yarn for that, I'm going to cast it on now. Oh, that's pretty, I've got yarn for that, I'm going to cast it on now.
Anyone else do that? And then you kind of like forget about what you're already working on. I've been quite good apart from this one, and it's not very fitting with spring. Well, it's kind of springy colours. I'll just show you. Now, it's very messy. It's not perfect at all, but I still kind of love it. So this is one of 2 of the Sycamore arm warmers by, I've forgotten the name. Is it Marie Wallen? I can't remember. I'm really sorry. I'm going to put the name up. She's a Fair Isle designer and she has gorgeous patterns. And I was like, I've not really done much colour work at all. I think the only thing I've really done was those hedgerow mitts. So I was like, I've got fingering weight yarn and enough. I'm going to wind it all into balls and get a little project out of it. So that's what I've done. Yeah, it's very messy, and like, can you see, this is where I cast on and I started knitting, and the suggested needle size, I think it was 3, what was it? 3 point, I can't remember, but I soon very quickly realised that's too big. I need to go down a needle size, which I did probably maybe like here, so you can see it gets smaller, and then the ribbing at the top is a lot tighter and smaller than it is on the bottom. not sure what happened there. The other thing is the yarn I'm using is mainly woolly knits 4-ply, and as much as I absolutely love it and I think it's great for knitting, you know, like all over block colours and things like that, it's perfect. I'm not so sure for fine colour work, because it does have a lot of variations in the thickness of the strand, which creates kind of a messy look for colour work. I know it's not all that, but I think that's probably partly what's made it look kind of messy. It might look alright on camera, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks a lot better on camera. But yeah, so that's the first one. I need to weave in the ends. I love the look of colour work on the wrong side. I think it's so cool. Like, I'd definitely wear them this way round. Maybe. But yes, I need to weave in these ends and get started on the second one. And I found it really hard work actually, because I don't know why I chose this as my second colour work project. I think it was just because I didn't want to do anything too big and I had the yarn there, so I was like, that seems like a good dip into Fair Isle knitting. And I had to throw in some random sock yarn, which has a very different texture to the woolly knit. But yeah, it's, you know, this to me is a practice project. It's like a swatch. So, and I'll have learned loads. By the time I finish the second one, I'll feel like, okay, well, you know, this went wrong or this wasn't quite right. So should I venture into knitting like a jumper or something, I'll have that knowledge behind me, which is good. So yeah, I don't regret it. I just feel like it might be a while till you see the second one. Second arm warmer syndrome. It's a real thing. So that's that. Do I have anything else you've not seen? No, I don't think so. I've not made any progress on my granny square cushion cover because, do you remember in the last episode I showed you that random yellow square? I've taken that out. I decided I don't like the yellow square, and I really like, it's this colour that I ran out of, this green, and it was on sale on Lovecrafts for I think like £1.90 for a ball. So while I was getting something else, I ordered another ball, so I'm just waiting for that to arrive. When it does, I think I'll definitely put some work into it because I really love it and I'm looking forward to it being done. Not looking forward to the ends, but I'm one of those people who, once I get into the flow of weaving in ends, I actually enjoy it. Anyone else enjoy weaving in ends? You know, when you got something nice to watch on the telly or whatever, it's nice, you kind of get into a flow with it, and yeah. Also, I'm undecided whether I prefer this side of the squares, or, which is actually, that's the wrong side, or the right side. The right side's got a lot more like texture from where I pick up where I slip stitch into the next square and join it. Unsure. We'll see. So yeah, that's that one. And then the last one is my petal tail jumper. I think last time I can't remember where I was. I think I was like nearly done with the yoke. I have now split for sleeves and I'm working on the body. It's really it's really nice. I'm going to be really interested to see how it's going to look on, because I've not had a neckline like this before where you cast on and then pick up like when you're done, you're meant to do the neckline, but I think it's going to be very big and oversized, and actually in the pictures it does look like a generally big garment, which I'm fine with. I love big baggy oversized things. So yeah, so I split for sleeves, and that actually, so you don't do any short row shaping when you Am I holding it the wrong way around? Yeah. You don't do any short row shaping at the neck where you kind of normally would with a lot of sweaters. You actually end up doing it just before, is it just before or just after you split for sleeves? So you knit for like, I think it's like 9 centimeters or something. Yeah, and then you join in the round. So you kind of add that length to the back that way, which is new for me. So you knit back and forth for a bit, which I don't mind. Yeah, the armholes are really big, but again, I just think it's going to be a big garment, which is fine. I think it's going to be so lovely in the winter. I'm hoping the mohair doesn't irritate me too much, but I don't think it's going to. Like, it's hard to tell, isn't it? But yeah, so I have made some progress on that. And I'm just going to keep working on it and take my time with it. Really enjoying it. It's a nice slow knit. It's knit on I'm using, is it 4.5 or something like that? So it's, or 4 mil, I think it might be 4 millimeters. Yeah. Also, look, how cute are these? Little stitch stoppers. I think I got them on Amazon. Hi. Yeah. So yes, that is the petal tail. And that is it. That is all my whips and all my finished objects. I have a few acquisitions to chat about this time. Now, I was not supposed to really have any acquisitions because I put myself on a little yarn ban. It didn't really work. But yes, so I bought, if you remember, I'm actually wearing them now. I don't know if you can even see, but I'm wearing my monkey socks, which are knit in Huntingdon Valley Yarns, or Valley Yarns Huntingdon, which I really, it's my most favourite sock yarn that I've worked with so far. It's just really nice, like it's soft, but not to the point where I think it's gonna like break or anything, and I just really love it. And I saw on Lovecraft that it was on offer, on sale, like I think it was half price or something. I was like, oh, brilliant, I'll order 2 skeins. And I forgot to check the grams, and when they came it was just 50 grams, which I was not going to get a nice pair of 2 nice pairs of socks out of. So I ordered these 3 colours. I love this green. This is going to be, I think, my next pair of socks. So this is the colour Lemongrass 037. I love the colour. I feel like it's just like spring. This grey, which is kind of slightly got different variations in it, is called Light Grey Heather. And this beautiful golden orangey mango is called Harvest Orange. Yeah, so that's these. I'm looking forward to working these up. I love having sock yarns, just like looking at them and being like, ooh. And then I got 1 skein of, because I want to keep trying different sock yarns as well. So this one is Cascade Yarns Heritage, the standard 75, superwash merino, 25% nylon. This is very soft, like very soft. I want to say it's softer than the Huntingdon. Yeah. And look how cool this colour is. It's like so vibrant. And I'm not a blue person. I don't think I suit blue. And I wouldn't wear it for, you know, a jumper or anything. But for socks, yeah, why not? I just saw it and I was like, that's really cool. So yeah, and this is 100 grams. Yeah, 400 meters for 100 grams. So yeah, that'll make a nice pair of socks. So yes, I got those. And then this one I'm really excited about. I treated myself to some Noro yarn. Now, I I feel like maybe Noro is one of those things where it's like Marmite, like you either really love it or you just don't like it. And I've seen quite a few people knitting in this one, which is Kakigori, Noro Kakigori, knitting like the June top by Petite Knit or a few Petite Knit patterns. And I just saw it and I thought, that's really interesting. Like, that yarn looks really interesting and something I would really like to try. And the fibre content really spoke to me as well. Just had an absolute disaster saying iPhone storage full. So I just had to delete some things, and I'm going to hope that we can get through this pretty quickly. So I think I was chatting about saying that how interesting I thought this yarn was. So I bought some. I really like working with plant-based fibres, and I love this colour. It's beautiful. I was saying before, it's literally like working with sweets. It's like knitting with sweets is the only way I can kind of describe it. Contrary to what you may kind of get the impression of, I actually really love pink, especially in the warmer months. Yeah, I love bright, like hot pink, and bright colours. So I got 2 skeins of this, or 2 balls of this. They're 200-gram balls, and you get 600 meters. So yeah, and what I'm thinking is I'm going to make the So Summer top and shorts by Jessie Made designs. So I've swatched. I've not blocked the swatch yet, but this is a swatch on 3.75mm needles, which I love the fabric. I think it's perfect. I just need to measure it and check that I'm not too far off stitch count wise. Yeah, and I'm just so excited to get started on it, and I'm trying with all my might not to just cast it on straight away, because I want to kind of get a few other things off my needles before I start really getting into the spring and summer knits. But we'll see. I will probably have started it, or definitely have started it by the next time I do a podcast. But it's such a joy to work with. The only thing is, when you work with this yarn, and I've read this about Noro yarns, because it's so highly twisted, the singles, which I think this is a single, because it's so highly twisted, it does twist back on itself. So you do have to kind of gently untwizzle it as you work with it. The one thing I did read is that you can do to negate that is steam the yarn first before you work with it. But I don't have a steamer, and that seems like a lot of work, and I don't know if I'm that. It was annoying, but it wasn't annoying enough for me to not do a project with that. But it was such a joy watching all the colours pop, like as you're knitting, and like the different weights. Like you can see an area where, I'll try and get this on camera, like here where the yarn goes a lot thinner, and then you've got these really thick chunky bits that like pop out. It's just so lovely, and I think a t-shirt, especially the So Summer t-shirt, is just going to look so pretty in this, and I'm going to, yeah, love to wear it in the spring and summer, and have matching shorts. I probably won't wear them together, or I might. Who knows? Yeah, so I'm really excited about this, and it's so nice to work with Noro. It's just something completely different to what I've been working with, you know, the wools, and you know, when I was crocheting it was mainly acrylics and 100% cottons, and it's so nice to work with something this exciting. And I just want the yarn to sing on its own, and I think a simple basic like top with nice, it's got like nice details at the I don't know what you call it, like the end of the arms. I think it's just going to look really pretty. So yes, I'll be casting that on once I get a few of my other things off the needles. Probably once I finish my socks and maybe like the crochet cushion cover, I'll treat myself to casting this on. So yeah, that's the Noro yarn acquisition and swatch. Now the other thing, I'm just going to go and get it actually. Now the other thing I wanted to chat about quickly was the 52 Weeks of Socks book. I bought this a while ago when I first started getting into sock knitting, and I've not knit anything from it. So I thought what we could do, what might be fun, is if I pick a pattern just blindly from the book, and then I'll like pick the yarn to knit it in. We'll try it, let's see. If it's a pattern that I don't have yarn for, I'll just go again. Let's go for it, because they're releasing the second volume of this book, and as much as I want to buy it, I need to like actually knit patterns from here first. So let's go for it. I'm just going to stop randomly. Okay, I've stopped. Oh, it's nice.
Oh, it's nice.
I mean, they're all nice. It's the Guest by Verena Kors. Oh, I'll try not to get the actual pattern in and show you. Nice. These are pretty. I like them. And most of these are toe up. Is it? Yeah, 2.25 needles. I think that's, yeah. Oh, how exciting. Let me put a bit of paper in there so I'll remember. Now I'm thinking, what shall I knit those up in? I think I'm going to go with the green. Or, because I do have other sock yarns. Or I could use this Novita Venla. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it in this. So the next time you see me, guys, I'll have probably half of a finished object. I'll probably finish the first sock next time you see me. Oh, how exciting. I'm really glad I did that. And I think I'm going to keep doing that every time I do a podcast to kind of get through some of the patterns in here. Brilliant. So yes, we're at the end. Oh, you said in my last video, someone commented that you wanted to meet Fred, my cat. So I'll just get him. I'll see if he stays on my lap. We'll see. Come here, baby. I know. Here he is. If I stroke him, yeah, he'll stay. He's such a beautiful boy. He's such a gorgeous boy, aren't you? Yeah. He loves a fuss. He's so vocal. He's a rescue cat. He's 8. I think he's about 8 years old now. We've had him from, I think he was about 8 months old. And he's moved around with us, and he's not put up a fight with the moves, and he's just adjusted to everything so well. Cats are just the best. Cats are just the best. I think they're the most like underrated animal. Well, no, they're not underrated, but you know, they're just so easy. You know, he's got a cat flap. He comes in and out of the cat flap, eats some food, brings in the occasional mouse. He's just lovely. Everyone loves Fred. My dad, who, I don't know if he's still allergic to cats, but he's always had a thing about cats, but he really loves Fred. Fred always comes and sits on his lap. Don't you? You beautiful boy. Yeah. You beautiful boy. I got some really cute footage of him sleeping in the front garden, so I'll put that in as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and yeah, till next time. Bye.